Welcome, dear students. Today we are going to talk about static data members and static functions within a class. Let me first create a class. So class point, it's a representation of mathematical point, and we will have two data members for this particular point class, the x coordinate and the y coordinate, as the point has two coordinates, the x and the y. We are going to give it a constructor. So we are going to come here and say public point, and it's going to accept two integer arguments, one for the x coordinate and the other for the y coordinate. So we are going to say x coord equals x and y coord equals y, right? So we are going to initialize the point with the x and the y coordinates. So what this means is that down here in the main function, we want to create a point object. So we are going to say point, let's call it p1, and we are going to pass two values, right? One for the x coordinate and the other for the y coordinates. So the value 2 will be copied in the x parameter and the value 3 will be copied in the y parameter. And then we are assigning those parameter values to the x coordinate and y coordinate, which are the data members of the class, and they have been declared as private, right? If you want to see the x and the y coordinates, so we are going to give it to getter functions and get x, which will return the x coordinate value for the point, and get y, which is going to return the y coordinate for the point. So let's just test this class by displaying the x and the y coordinates. We are going to say p1 dot get x. We are going to get the value using the public functions get x and get y, because the x coordinate and the y coordinate have been declared as private. So we are going to come here and say p1 dot get y, right? That's the purpose of declaring functions as public, so that we can have control access to the private data members. So let me save changes, compile the code, and execute the code by hitting the run button. And as you can see, the x coordinate is 2 and the y coordinate is 3. Now let's create a static data member within this class. Always remember that when we have these normal data members, they do not exist if we do not create an object. So if we don't create this object, there is no x coordinate and y coordinate, because if there is no point, then there are no coordinates. So the data members are that they belong to the object of the class. If you create an object, then these data members they are created in memory for each object, right? So each object gets a separate copy of the data members. So what I mean by that, if I create another point p2 and then I pass the values 4, 5 for the x and the y coordinates, then p1 will have a separate copy in memory for x and the y coordinate, and p2 will have separate copies in memory for the x and the y coordinates. So they have their own states, right? But if you declare something as static, then you first declare it with the static keyword, and then it's an integer, and let's call the variable counter, right? This static variable or data member called counter, it belongs to the class. Even if there is no object created, they do exist in memory. So if I comment out this code, that means that the counter will be created when I compile the code. The reason is that it belongs to the class, and all the objects share the same copy of this counter, right? It will be very clear if we just complete this class and then execute to see what happens, right? So when you want to declare a static variable, you have to use the static keyword, then the data type, and then the name of the variable. If you want to initialize it with some default value, remember that C++ does not allow initialization of static variables within the class. So if you do this, for example, equal sign, you want to assign a default value of 0 to the counter. If you compile the code, you will get a syntax error. So let's give it a try. And as you can see, this line has been underlined. It says that C++ forbids in-class initialization of the static members, right? So how do you initialize the static members? Well, it's very simple. You go outside the body of the class. So outside the body of the class, remember, and then you specify the data type, then the name of the class, and then the scope resolution operator, which is the double colon, and then the name of the variable, which is counter, and then you initialize it with 0. So again, the syntax is you don't write the static keyword again, right? It's typed only once when you declare it within the class, right? And then when you want to initialize it, you have to initialize it outside the body of the class. The first thing is the data type of that variable, which is int, then the name of the class, right, to which it belongs, and then the scope resolution operator, then the name of the variable assignment, and then the value 0. If I compile it again now, it will be fine. Yeah, it's fine. There are no errors and no warnings, right? So that's how you declare it within the class and how you initialize it outside the body of the class. This is specific for those static data members. Again, the static data members, the data member that I have declared here is private. I cannot directly access, right? So we have to create a static function to access the static data members. So I'm going to come here just above the private keyword, and the data type of this variable is int. So the return type of the function will be int, and then we're going to say get counter, right? And then we are going to return counter, but because the counter is static, we are going to mark this function or method as static, right? Remember, static functions for static data members. Now if I want to access the static members, the definition of the static variable is that it belongs to the class, not to the object. That means we can access the static member with the name of the class and scope resolution operator. So I will comment out all this code, or maybe I will just before I create any object, right? Before I create any object, the first line is accessing that variable. So I'm going to say cout the name of the class colon colon and the name of that static function get counter and del. So there is no object created, right? I am accessing it with the name of the class, the scope resolution operator, and then the name of the static function. If I save changes and recompile it and execute the code, you're going to see the value 0. This is the first line, and then these two were the point coordinates below this line, as you can see here. So just to recap, static variable is declared with the static keyword. You declare it just like normal variables within a class, but remember that you cannot initialize it within the class. You have to go outside the body of the class and then use this syntax to initialize these static variables, right? Another thing is that if you want to, let's say, for example, why do we use it? Because all objects share the same copy, right? The same counter. So let's do something interesting. I'm going to say that whenever I create an object from the class, the constructor is called. So within the constructor, I'm going to increment the value of the counter by 1 plus plus. That means each time I create an object, right, what happens is that within the constructor, the static variable value is incremented by 1. So it's going to keep track of the number of objects I create from the class. So if I create, let's say, let me create a loop. So I'm going to come here and say for and int I equals 1, I less than or equal to 100, for example, and then I create, let's say, 100 points. So I'm going to say point p, and what's going to be the values, because the constructor requires two integer values. I'm going to pass I and I plus 1, right? Just plus 1, right? So on each cycle of this loop, I'm creating a new point object. I'm going to call it p, right? So if I save changes and then I access this particular counter, the value of the counter variable, after I create these 100 objects, or maybe even 11 101 object because 100 are created within the loop and then 1 is created outside the loop, so 101. And let's see if I access that get counter static function with the scope resolution operator in the name of the class to see if the value of the counter is 101. So I am going to compile the code, and I think I have forgotten to increment the value of I. So let's compile it again and let's give it a try, and it says 101. Right, so for each object, right, the value of the counter is incremented by 1. So if it was not static, if the counter was not static, what would happen that each object will increment its own copy of the counter, and we will not get the total count of objects, right? So I can even do this, that I can update the value of the counter with an object, but I think the time for the video is going to be lengthy and you may not watch till the end, so I'm going to record more about static variables some other time. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.